Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, December 3rd. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Sonia Shrivastava. We're glad to have all of you with us tonight. Well, should a pregnant woman be forced to take unpaid leave? That's the question before the Supreme Court of the United States. The case could have huge implications nationwide. Byron Scott is in the district with our story.
Can you comment on how you thought the arguments went in court as you sat there listening?
Was this your first Supreme Court argument you ever attended?
This is my first Supreme argument, so I am very hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful.
The ramifications are huge. At issue is whether a company can force an employee to take unpaid leave due to pregnancy. The 9 justices heard oral arguments today from attorney Samuel Bagenstos.
I think the argument today went very well. Obviously, we made our points, I think, as well as we could. The court seemed very interested and receptive.
We want to start our families. We should be able to start our families and continue work at the same time.
The former UPS driver says the company forced her to do just that in 2006 after her doctor advised her not to lift anything over 20 pounds. She says she went 7 months without pay or health benefits.
It's principle. It can't be right to make me choose to start my family and to support my family. So it's principle. I should be able to do both.
The justices are looking at whether UPS, which has since changed its policy, violated the 1978 Pregnancy Discrimination Act by not offering her another assignment as it does with other employees with physical limitations.
And here we are 36 years later, asking the court to hold simply that the Pregnancy Discrimination Act means what it says. When employers give accommodations for physical limitations of its employees who are not pregnant, those employers must do the same thing for their employees who are pregnant.
Women matter. Equality matters.
While attorneys were before the justices, scores of supporters demonstrated in front of the High Court.
I think we've got to support pregnant workers. I think we've got to support women workers overall to make sure that they can continue to be contributors in their family and in their communities.
If the court doesn't get it right, we have a bill in Congress, the Pregnant Women Fairness Act.
New York Congressman Gerald Nadler recently introduced the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. He says it goes further than the 1978 legislation.
And what that bill says is that all businesses must make a reasonable accommodation to the needs of a pregnant woman, provided it's not an undue burden on the business.
I just want all the women out there to know that you have a voice and you need to use it.
A ruling in this case is expected by June. At the Supreme Court, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Well, Prince George's police will be out in Suitland tonight passing out information related to a sexual assault that occurred the night before Thanksgiving. The victim told authorities that she was walking near her apartment building in the 2300 block of Brooks Drive when an unidentified man attacked her and then ran away. Police are now reaching out to residents in hopes of finding the man who's responsible for this crime.
We do know from the victim that the suspect is described as a black male, about 5'7", described as thin or skinny, and was at the time wearing some blue jeans, a blue hooded sweatshirt, and also was apparently wearing a very distinctive silver-colored belt buckle. So again, detectives will be out today trying to engage the community, looking for anyone who might have any information which will lead us to identifying the suspect involved.
If you have any information on this case, you can call the Prince George's Police or the Anonymous Crime Solvers hotline at 1-866-411-TIPS. Well, 35 hospitals across the nation are designated for Ebola care, including 6 in the region. Treatment centers include the National Institutes of Health Clinical Center in Bethesda, as well as 2 Baltimore hospitals, Johns Hopkins and the University of Maryland Medical Center. Those in the district include MedStar Washington Hospital Center, Children's National Medical Center, and George Washington University Hospital. More treatment centers will be added over the next few weeks.
Republican Governor-elect Larry Hogan has completed his transition team by announcing 31 new members. This took place at a press conference Tuesday in downtown Annapolis. Some of the new members include Gail Bassetti, president of TCE Incorporated in Laurel, and Matthew Lee, a Laurel contractor and president of the Korean Business Enterprise, and State Senator C. Anthony Muse, a Democrat from Prince George's. Hogan also mentioned he could start rolling out senior staff and cabinet picks as early as next week. Well, meanwhile, Hogan will be attending a new governor's meeting this Friday at the White House. The day-long event will begin with a meeting with Vice President Joe Biden and conclude with a discussion with President Obama and other senior White House officials. The governor-elect says that as a Republican, he believes, quote, public servants can disagree without being disagreeable. He adds that the opportunity will provide valuable insight as his administration works to turn Maryland around.
A Montgomery County woman is charged with stabbing her roommate to death using a butcher knife and a pair of scissors. Police say the 53-year-old Rita Sanders Campfield allegedly killed 67-year-old Chong Park because she believed Park was practicing witchcraft. The victim's body was found dead Tuesday morning inside of an apartment along Old Georgetown Road in Rockville. Authorities say the suspect was still on the scene when officers arrived. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Sonia Shrivastava.